Y'all know what time it is, man. We come in the same way we leave. We leave the same way we come in. Make sure y'all staying relentless in y'all pursuit to self-improve, to be 1% better every day. And always keep the most high first. Always. Now, I just got through reading the book of Ecclesiastes yesterday. Finished up my reading on that. I haven't done any readings yet, but I wanted to touch a little bit on Ecclesiastes and where I took from that book, reading that. Basically, like, it's a time for everything, man. And life is about balance. Those are the main two things I took from it. Having balance. It's a time for everything under the sun, and just, you don't want to be too over righteous. Of course, you want to live your life righteously to the best of your ability, but once again, we all fall short of the glory. We've all fallen short in the past. But if you know better, you do better about certain things, and if you want to reap the blessings and the benefits of living this life, you got to be obedient. You don't want to hinder your blessings or stop your blessings for being disobedient to the Most High. And those are some of the things that I take from it. But I want to start with having balance. Life is meant to be lived. You only have one life. You want to live it to the best of your ability. And most times we get caught into, and we've all done this. We've all lived our lives comparatively before, and seen that, looking on the internet, whether it be through whatever social media platform people are always on, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, or whatever the case may be, where most people are pretty much on everything. I pretty much dwindled my social medias to pretty much one, so I pretty much just got Instagram and YouTube. But nonetheless, like, we get caught up in certain things in times, but certain things in life, and we never want to live our lives comparatively, because you never know what people had to go through to get the blessings or reap the blessings and the rewards that they have. And for whatever reason, and some people get theirs doing unrighteous acts, but we know those things don't prosper. Those things only last a season for those particular people. We're not really talking about that, but you never want to. One of the main things that I get caught up in sometimes, and once upon a time when I used to be, of the world and caring about, the things that I talked about in my last video, with great power comes great responsibility. Just money, cars, clothes, jewelry, just intangible things. I thought that's what life was all about. Living life in the fast lane, driving the luxurious cars, and you know what I'm saying, like things of that nature. Like, I thought that was what life was all about, but not knowing that I've heard this saying that comparison is the killer of all joy. And of course, you want to live your life, enjoy life. Life is meant to be lived, but make sure when you're doing these things, and I had to realize this on my journey as well, make sure you're doing those things for yourself. You're not doing it for other people's approval. You're not doing it for likes, clicks, and views. You're doing it for yourself. Anything that you partake in or you love doing, whether it be art, drawing, traveling, into fitness, any activities like basketball, football, any activities that anybody is interested in, make sure you're doing it for you. That's the number one thing, is to make sure that you have a relationship with self first, and doing the things that you enjoy doing, and being around people who enjoy or partake in some of the things that you partake in, being around like-minded people. And one of the main things that make us so different as human beings, we're not gonna like the same things, but you may bump into somebody and they may take to some of the things that you may enjoy doing. So, like I said, life is all about challenges, trying new things. The Bible talks about, like, once again, it's a time for everything. It's a time for war. It's a time for peace. It's a time for laughter. It's a time to cry. It's a time to have fun. It's a time to, be serious. It's a time to search, and it's certain times to give up, man. And sometimes in this life, man, and and I've battled with this even on the journey that I'm on, like being worldly. Like sometimes I can take life a little too serious, and you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why, like, when I like being on this journey, I have things that I enjoy doing outside of, you know, making these videos and, you know, being a father. You know, like my son loves basketball. I love basketball. I love sports. He loves sports. He partakes in a lot of this stuff. He loves fitness just like I love fitness. Like it's nothing like seeing your own, like your own, one of your own creations, like partaking some of the things you partake in and loving some of the things that you love, and that brings joy. And of course, you know, it's certain things that he like doing. He loves video games, and you know, he loves to wrestle sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So I be roughhousing with him a little bit, but not too much, you know what I'm saying? I let him win, so I don't be roughing up my son or anything like that. But it's a time for everything, and sometimes in this life, man, I can be a little too serious sometimes. So life is about balance. It's about, you know, doing the things that you love doing, but once again, it's a time and a place for everything. And sometimes it's a time to, you know, isolate. Yeah, it's a time where God calls you to isolation, because he may want one-on-one time for you to, you know, improve whatever vices or whatever things that you're battling with. Sometimes you do need that one-on-one time, but God is, like I said, is a time for everything, man. You need that one-on-one time with the Creator, the Most High, to pray, whatever it is that God is calling you upon to do, to talk to him. And, you know, find ways to find your gratitude every day. That's one of the main things. A lot of people in this life, and once again, I've been privy to of it as well. You know, we always want to make sure that we always putting our best foot forward, as I preach, to always be 1% better. None of us are perfect. Once again, we all gonna fall short of the glory, but it's always about, like I said, having balance. Life is about balance. You never want to, too much of anything is bad for you. Too much knowledge sometimes can bring much grief, and that's even what Ecclesiastes talk about. And sometimes in this life, when I say when you know better, you do better, but you never want to have too much of anything is bad for you. You always want to give yourself grace. Whether it's, like I said, one of the main things I enjoy doing, I love fitness. Sometimes you need rest days for that. You know, sometimes, you know, you may need a break from social media. You know, too much of anything is bad for you. So it's always about having a balance when it comes to things that you love doing. Maybe you may love sports or basketball or art. There's nothing wrong with having a balance and endeavoring in something else, and trying new things. And one thing that these 2020s have taught me, starting my journey in 2020, I've always elevated in some way, shape, or form, whether it be spiritually, emotionally, physically. If I ain't said that twice, just in some way, I always level up in some way. And because I'm always trying different ways, innovative ways to be better, to improve, not just for myself, for my son, my loved ones, and my family. So it's always about having a balance when it comes to this life. Enjoy your life. That's what that's one of the main things I took from Ecclesiastes. You're supposed to enjoy your life, but at the end of the day, none of it matters. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff can go. The money, cars, clothes, jewelry, but it's always about, like I said, living your life, but also showing a level of gratitude and being thankful for where you came from and where you trying to, and wherever it is you're trying to go. So it's always about, life is always about balance. And that's one of the main things that I took from it as well. The second thing I took from it is, let me see, is, you know, basically, you know, everything is, the other thing I took from is pretty much, like I said, everything is meaningless. Because one of the main things that we have to focus on, and I had to realize on my journey, because I want to put myself in this as well, because I'm not above the fray at all when I say any of this, and I ever say that I never had these moments where all these things have scratched the surface in my life. But I had to realize everything is meaningless in this life, man. Like I said, I'm grateful for everything that I have, family, being able to provide and do for my loved ones, and also enjoying life and having a balance as well. But one of the main things that I had to realize to focus on is doing the internal work, the inner work, focusing on higher things and focusing on the most high and being the best version of yourself that you can be. Like life is, you wanna have a purpose in this life and wanna know why you're here and things of that nature. But I had to realize in order to get that, I had to humble myself. It's certain things that I had to sacrifice. So I had to get away from certain people and get by myself to figure those things out and do the inner work internally, because Lord knows I had a lot of demons that I was fighting with and battling with that I can't even put into words. But doing the inner work, and it's been times, like I said, this walking this life gets hard, man. And like I said, man, it's just, but at the same time, you have your good days and you have your bad days. But what I mean by I had to realize, like, pleasures, the Bible talks about in Ecclesiastes, pleasures, riches, toil, like anything nothing is new under the sun. Anything that's before us, everything that was before us is gonna be after. There's nothing new under the sun. So everything that we've done is gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again. History always repeats itself in more ways than one. And so by me saying that and by me realizing that, it made me realize, like, when it comes to living this life, man, you never want to take it for granted at the same time. But you have to realize that all this stuff, it can't go with you. So and everybody's journey is different. I mean, everybody's not able to be, blessed with some of the things that everyone else is blessed with. But that's one of the main things that when it comes to living your life comparatively, it's the killer of all joy. You never know what people have to go through to get the blessings that they have, and you never know the dirt or whatever unrighteous acts people had to do behind closed doors to get to where they at. So it's always like it's a balance, but I had to realize and understand that everything, it does, like the external things, they're cool, they fun, enjoy them. That's one of the main things I take from Ecclesiastes. Enjoy your life, live your life, but remember that all these things could be gone tomorrow. That's why I don't get caught up in, I helped this person out, or I did this for this particular person, or I was right about this and that and the third, and I started this trend or I started that trend. I don't get caught up in all that, because at the end of the day, like, whoever, like one of the main things, if someone ever steals, like, I ain't gonna say steal, because it's a difference between someone being inspired by you and someone copying you. When I mean by copying, like, as far as like someone trying to like mimicking you and copying you, whatever it is that you endeavoring, whether it's music, art, or making videos or content. It's a different, like, we all been inspired by somebody in this life, and but it's a difference between being inspired and someone copying your work and things of that nature that you put forth, the hard work and the endeavors that you put forth, that the Most High blessed upon you and bestowed upon you. But saying all that, whoever you touched in this lifetime, man, and they may regurgitate, because we all have been regurgitators before. You may say something, and a person will go to another person and act like they said it. It don't matter, because it really don't matter, because one thing about it, the angels, the Most High, they watch, they listen, they record, and the books will be open on the day of judgment, man. That's all that matter. Like, I had to realize the worldly credit thing means nothing. It's a lot of trends, even as a kid, that I started, but it don't matter. Like, it don't matter. It's meaningless. You know what I'm saying? It, like, all this, like, everything that we see, all the cars, clothes, jewelry, and don't get me wrong, we all like nice things, bro. Like, nobody is beyond the frail of any of this, but just realize all this could be gone tomorrow, man. And that's one of the main things that I took from Ecclesiastes. This is a time for everything. You never want to be too over righteous. Knowledge brings much grief sometimes, so you never want to. You want to be knowledgeable, you want to learn, but also always have a balance, whether it's with friends, whether it's with family, your loved ones. Enjoy life. Life is meant to be lived at the same time. And as long as you ain't breaking the laws, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High, you abide by the laws of the universe, man. Live life, man. Enjoy yourself. And that's one of the main things that I took from Ecclesiastes. Most importantly, is, you know, enjoying life and living life, and don't overwork yourself. You know, it also talked about having, like I said, it was stories in that book that talked about a person having all the riches and all the toil, but he was still depressed. He still felt lonely, or that particular person still felt lonely because, like I said this in my last video, chasing after the riches and the money, you know, you can, like, that's one of the main things when it comes to, it talked about it in Proverbs and it talked about it in Ecclesiastes. It's a chasing after the wind, basically. Like if you having money, or and you always feel like you can need more money, you're never gonna be satisfied. So be blessed with what you have. You know, be blessed that you're able to do whatever it is that you have to make ends meet with. Be grateful for that, and whatever endeavors or whatever it is that you need, God gonna have all the answers for you, man. But you know, but my moral of the story is that life is made to be lived, though. So always have a balance, man. Life is about balance, and sometimes I get lost into this truth and knowledge, but sometimes I do get lost into it a lot. But at the same time, like I said, it's about balance, and that's one thing that I'm still learning and still practicing, because once upon a time I was in the world. I was of the world. Now I got into the knowledge and the truth. Sometimes you get too wrapped up, close up in it, and you know, you never want to live life too serious. You always want to, you know, live balanced and enjoy life. Life is meant to be lived, man. But that's what I take from the book of Ecclesiastes, man. That's all I pretty much have for y'all. I got more content on the way. Y'all hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe if you're new to the channel, man. And one of the main things that I want to talk about as well before I end this video, y'all, is that I never came. One of the main things that I like doing as well, minus the fitness and sports and things of that nature, I do like helping people. And these messages are very therapeutic to me. It may be therapeutic to someone else on their journey, along their journeys as well. But these messages are very therapeutic to me. Like, and me doing this is not just for myself, it's for people that want to listen. And yeah, that, like, I like, this is one of the main things that I enjoy doing too with y'all, man, because like I said, it's been one hell of a journey, y'all. I can't lie, and it continues. It continues. So never give up on yourself, man. Life is meant to be lived, bro. It's meant to be lived. But that's all I got, y'all. I love y'all, man. To the next video. Y'all know what time it is. We come in the same way we leave. We leave the same way we come in. Make sure y'all staying relentless in y'all pursuit to self-improve, to be 1% better every day, and always keep the Most High first. To the next video, I love you all. Peace.